You have probably seen this SaaS animation everywhere. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to recreate it completely inside DaVinci Resolve. Let's get started. In the edit page of DaVinci Resolve, make sure you create a new timeline. Use 30 frames per second and leave it in this long form format. Now go to Effects, get a Fusion composition, drag and drop it in your timeline, and we can open this Fusion composition in the Fusion page. Now in the Fusion page, we have this. I'm just going to set up my workspace like I used to do. So first thing we see is a background. Get a background node and connect this background node here. Now just bring this here. In this background, we are going to make it a 4-corner gradient background. Shout out to Tom's project for the inspiration of this video. Now I'm just going to pick this color from here. Now the second one, I pick this one from here, and third one from here, fourth one from here. Get a background node, get another background node, connect this background node here, and get a rectangle mask. Now I'm just going to size the rectangle mask as we're supposed to be. Leave the center like that. Change the width value to 0.394 and the height value to 0.39. Now change the corner radius to something like 1.36, and you have that. Go to this background and make it a full white color like this. And if we take a look at this from here, we see that we have this. I'm not going to do a text animation in this video, but if you want to get my text preset, you can check the link in the description. I'm going to go to my effects and template, go to text preset. You can get the new edit pack, link in the description. I'm going to drag and drop this here. Make sure I close this up and connect this here. Now in this text, I'm just going to write something like video editor. You can change the font to the Apple font, which is FS Pro Display, and change the color from white to black. And I'm going to hit this horizontal anchor here so that it aligns here. I just need to pick it up from here. I'm going to set the position X to 457 and the Y value to 0.583. Now you can come back to the text and we're going to use a value of 0.0384 for the size, something around here. Now if you look at it, this is what we have. I don't want the text animation coming down so low. Go to the transform, which I have here. If you have watched my videos, you'll be able to do this one. So I'm just going to reduce this one, take it up a little bit, so maybe around 0.2, negative 0.02, so that it doesn't start from far below. Now I think I need to fix the delay of this one. Let's just do it since we are at it. A delay of 1 is okay. I think it's good. Now copy this text, Control C, Control V. I'm just going to fit the text that is supposed to be here. Now this is the text. You can change the size to 0.0214 and go to the delay. The delay is 0.22. This is the center X and center Y values, and if I connect it here, so this is the size of the text 0.021 and this is the center X and Y. You can copy those values. For this first text animation, we are going to start it at frame 45. So go to frame 45, select both of the points you have. If you have this text pack, go take it to frame 45. The text animation should start at frame 45 here. On this one should start at frame 49, so it starts animating from frame 49. That is all about the text. Next thing we have is creating this profile here. So get a background node. I always like to create it separately. You're going to see we might need animation for each one of them. So get a background node, get another one, and get an ellipse mask. In the ellipse, create the expression at width. Right, you can insert an equal to sign, enter, and connect your width to the height. Change the height value to 0.083. Now go to the center X and Y. We're going to change the center X to 0.388 and the Y value to 0.533. so it appears where we want it to be. Yeah. Now go to this background and you can pick this background color from here. If you want to know the background color, here is the color code. Let's take a look at that. This is what we have. Now, in order to get this guy here, I'm going to, in my media pool, I'm going to get him here. Let me just quickly name that guy. Now I'm going to connect that one here. Make sure I'm looking at this here. Now I can add a transform node to this guy. And in the transform node, I'm just going to size it something very small. Let me make sure I take this up like 50% and size it further again. Let's use a size of 1.75. We need to cut this off. So get the output of this ellipse and connect it to the mask section of this merge node. Now let's make this look good. I'm just going to connect this point here and take it up like this so that we have something presentable here. That is all about that. Let's just connect this one here and make sure we're looking at that. So we already have something like this. For the higher button, same thing, just get a background node, get a rectangle mask, get another background node. I'm going to set the center X to 0.5, the center Y to 0.391, enter, and then reduce the width value to 0.308. You're going to reduce the height value to 0.056, so you have something like that. Now change the corner radius to something like 0.2, so we have something like this. Now we just need to pick this background from here. You want the background, this is the color code. Now let's take a look at this background from here. Now if you have the new pack, you can go to templates. I'm going to add an inner shadow to this rectangle. Now I'm going to change this color to something, something more like a background. Let me zoom it in so that you see what that is doing. You see that if I increase the spread, you see it coming up like this. So I'm just going to keep the spread around here. If you have the new pack, you can do that one, but if not, it's still okay. So this one, I'm going to add a text node, and in the text node, just hit the word higher. Let's connect this one here and make sure we view this here. And change the size to maybe something like 0.4, 0.004, and then we're just going to bring it down to the middle here. Something like this. It's okay, I think. Yes. Now let's connect all of this here, and I'm going to move this to this side, and you can get a merge node here, connect it here, and then this one here. You can take a look at the final product. Let me take this one down like this. This is what we have. Good. Now I'm just going to, in order to animate this stuff, I'm going to select all of these and move it up, so I have space to control to add some transform nodes. Let's come back to this one. You see that we need separation between this one and the background. So come here, you're going to look for a drop shadow, add that there. Now you just need the drop shadow to be a bit below, like change the angle to something like this, and then reduce the drop shadow strength and turn on the blur to something like this. You shouldn't be able to see it. Now Control C, the drop shadow, come to this one here, Control V. I disabled the new the inner glow because we don't need it, so that we are all on the same place if you don't have it. Let's go ahead and animate this stuff. We have already made the animation for the text. Look at here, the text is already coming in. So let's make sure we animate everything. Let's start from the guy. Yes, this is the transform node of the guy. We are going to start at frame 50. Go to frame 50 and you keyframe the center X and Y. Go to somewhere around frame 29. You see it's no longer on screen there, so you're just going to take this guy out of this place like this. Now go to spline. I'm just going to leave spline open for now. You can hit S, or you can go select all of these and go to ease out back cubic. You're going to have a bounce effect. Now we need to make it so much so that it doesn't go out of this one here. So I'm going to read now, because I have to scale both of these, I'm going to add a transform node to the ellipse and this one. Now bring the pivot point to the middle of this here, to the middle like this, so that if we scale it like this, we can scale it down. You get what I'm saying? Now just make sure you set that up. Go to frame 45 and make sure you keyframe the size and go to something like frame 21 or frame 20. You can take the size down to 0. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure we hit S, select all, hit S, and you can do something like this, or you use ease out cubic. Just going to leave that open now. Now next thing we have is this higher. We still need to work on that, but let's come to the text, come to the layout at frame 60. Make sure you keyframe the center X and Y. Go back to frame 49 and take it down out of the screen. Now you see that when we take it down out of the screen, it still shows here. I'm going to get the output of this rectangle and connect it to the mask section of this one. Hold down Alt, click here. Now let's just do something. If you look at the rectangle, scales up and opens up, so we need to add a transform node to this one here. But before that, let's come and animate this text, this rectangle opening up. So go to somewhere around frame 65 where the rectangle is fully in place. At frame 65, you're going to keyframe the width and the corner radius. Go back to frame 35 and you need to bring this down and make it so that it's a circle. So take the corner radius all the way up to 1. Now go to spline, select all of that. I'm just going to do this out cubic, or you can do a bounce if you want. Now at frame 35, keyframe the size using this transform and go back to frame 25, yes, and take the size down to 0. Now if you look at it, it doesn't scale down from the middle here, so I will bring it up and just take the Y value down to the center like this, then I reduce it down to 0, so I scales up from the center of the rectangle. Now select both of these, you can hit S and do something like this. If we play our animation now, we have something like this. Good. We have to add this mouse cursor here, so I'm going to go to my media pool. I have it here. This is the mouse cursor. I'm just going to quickly name this one and I will connect this one here. I'm going to add a transform node to this one. In the transform node, I'm going to bring the size like down, bring it to where we want it to click. I think a size of 0.5 is okay. At frame 85, just come, you're going to keyframe the center X and Y, go back to somewhere around frame 55, just take it down somewhere around here. We're going to take it down here, make sure it comes from here, and now we can select this point, do something like this, select this other one and do something like this. Yeah, so that it comes like this. Now you need to go to the size when it gets here at about, yes, when it gets here maybe at frame 84, we're going to keyframe the size, go maybe to like 89, keyframe the size again and go to like 91 or 92, keyframe it again. Now go to the middle and take it down to like 35. Yeah, open up a spline, zoom to fit. We're just going to unselect the size first, S, make sure it's not too straight, it goes like this. Now unselect that, select the size, make sure you zoom to fit, and I'm just going to do S something and hit S. Now you can just, if you want, you can bring this closer like this. We're done with this first scene. Now if you look at this one, you're going to see that there are some rectangles at the background. I'm going to show you how to do that. Copy this one, Control C, and maybe, what should we put it? Let's just put it here, Control V. Now we're just going to do this one, connect it here, and in this rectangle, just make sure you increase the width and the height. Let me bring this down for you guys and increase the height, something like this. Do the same thing, Control C, it should be behind, Control V, and do the same thing. Now you can go to this merge node and bring down the opacity. Yes, I think you can bring down the opacity to somewhere around here. Now for the final animation, let's start with the zoom in. Add a transform node, go to frame 0, keyframe the size, and go to somewhere around frame 70. That's where it should be here, and keyframe it again. Go to the first one, we bring it up until you can just use a size of 3. Yes, good. And with that, yeah, go to spline with this transform. I think this is good. This is good. Now for the last transition, we are going to use the center X and Y. We are going to make this thing move out of screen like this. At frame 90, keyframe the center X and Y, go to somewhere like frame 105 maybe, and just take this to somewhere around here. Why I always want to go further is because you need to cut it somewhere around the peak. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Now go to spline, uncheck the size and check the center X and Y. Open this up, hit, you can ease in cubic. Let's make sure, yeah. Then if I come back to where this is where we don't have to see, so we can just select this one and bring it here to somewhere around here. Go back to the edit page and cut this up from here so that we have separated the scene. We can do all of it in one fusion composition, but I don't want to use one fusion composition. So let's bring another fusion composition. Now open this second fusion composition in the fusion page. We have the same thing. Just going to set up my nodes again. We need to use the same background. I'm going to connect this background to my media out. Yes, we have the same background. So we're going to do the same thing, get a background node, get another background node. It should be the same color, white color. Get it a rectangle mask here, connect this one here and this one here, and you add a drop shadow. So I didn't want to bore you with creating the rectangle, so here is the center X and Y, here is the width, here is the height, here is the corner radius, and I've added a drop shadow. These are the drop shadow settings. Now this text, if you look at here, this is the text and this is what it says. This is the size. You go to the delay. This is the delay 0.09, and it starts from frame 1 to frame 26, I think. Yes. Now bring another text node here, and in this text node you're going to write Gmail. Now change the font to this font we have been using, SF Pro. Now you can change it from bold to medium, change the color from white to black, and hit OK. Now you can connect this one here and make sure you're looking at this one. I always like to go to my text and change it to this horizontal anchor. When you do that, then you can bring it to where you want the text to be. Let me say, for instance, I want it to be here. Then I can reduce the size to something around 0.2, or let's say 0.4. Good. Get this Gmail logo from here and connect the logo to this one. Now in the logo, we're just going to bring down the size. Bring the size down to something around here and bring it to this side. You make sure you align it with the text below so that the design can be good at least. Yes, something around here is better. Now all you need to do is copy and paste this exact thing, the exact number of like 4 times. I'm just going to, you can change the text if you want, but I'm not going to bother about the text. I'm just going to Control C this one. Now what you can do is add transform nodes to these ones and position them how you want them to be. Now we are going to animate these various logos. So come to somewhere around frame 0, come to the merge node that have the logo, keyframe the merge node, and you can go to somewhere around frame 10, keyframe it again, go back to the first one, take it down to 0. Do the same thing for all of them. Come here, you can keyframe this one at frame 13, keyframe, come to somewhere like frame 3 or frame 2, take it down to 0. Go to the next one, you can keyframe it at frame 15, go to frame, maybe frame 5, take it down to 0. Go to the next one. Now hold down Shift or Control, select all of these merge nodes, open up spline. Make sure you open all of these up and you ease out cubic on all of them. Let's just make it 3D by coming here. I'm going to bring this one here. Maybe bring this media out, so somewhere around here, or bring this one. Yeah, let's bring it up here. Now add a camera. It's going to create this mesh node and then use a renderer 3D, add it here. Now you can get a mesh node from here, connect it there, and connect your mesh node here. Now come to this media out and you can view it. You won't see anything. That's because the camera and all of these are on the same plane. So go to the camera. You can change the Z translation to about, I always use 1.7. Now go to the image plane and you just need to take the image plane. I was wondering why I couldn't see anything, but this one is not connected, so I just hold down Shift and connect it here. Now if I connect this one here, I see it here. Good. This Gmail is not, let's just leave it here and then get this one. I'm just going to connect it, all of it, and here frame.io. all right, what you can do now is maybe come to these image planes one after the other. We can leave this one to be where it is, go to the second one and maybe go to the Z value and take the Z value a little bit backward. Yeah, if you take it backward, something like this, just make sure they are not the same. What you want to do next is come to the camera. You can add a transform node 3D. Yes, and in this transform node, you come to somewhere around frame 0, keyframe the translation X, and go to somewhere around frame 35, which is here. Keyframe it again. This will be the position at frame 35. Go back to frame 0 and you can just shift it to this side. Yes, somewhere around here. Come to this image plane here, go to materials and go to opacity. You can keyframe the first one at frame 0 and go to maybe frame 8, keyframe it again, take it down to 0. Just do something like that. Go maybe 2 frames forward, go to the second one, go to the materials, keyframe it, take it down to 0. Now go to maybe frame 11, take it up to 1. Just make it random, but this is what you have to do. Now next thing you want to do is come to this image plane at frame 32, keyframe the Z translation and come to somewhere around frame 45 and bring this, no, you're going to bring it in like this. Yeah, somewhere around here. But remember, why I did this, we're going to cut it here. Now go to spline with this, select all. At frame 44, go back to the edit page and make sure you cut this one at frame. You're going to cut this here. Now you can bring this to this side. You're going to get another fusion composition from here and add it to this one. Now open this fusion composition in the fusion page, get a background node. We're going to do the same thing, change it from to 4 color gradient, and then pick the first one, which is that one. Pick the second one. I'm going to show you. If you want the color code, this is the color code for the first one. This is the color code for the second. This is that for the third. And this is that for the fourth. Now we need to create an ellipse with the text within it. So get a background node, get another background node. I always like to create it on its own because you might need control over it. So get an ellipse mask. In this ellipse mask, create expression, add width, connect your width to the height so it appears like a perfect circle, and you bring it down to something around here. Now connect this one here. You're going to make this background color, maybe this black color here. Yep, you can take a look at that. Now what you have to do is Control C, this one, Control V, get a background node, connect this ellipse to the background, and this one here. Make sure you're looking at this one, and this one you change the background color to something like this. Now in this ellipse, you're going to uncheck solid and take up the corner radius just a little bit, maybe 0.002. Yes. Now you're going to copy this ellipse, Control C, paste it up here, Control V. I want to do this on its own too, so I'm just going to get another background node here, connect this one here and this one here. Now let's take a look at this, and I'm going to shift this to this side. You're going to see why. Now come back to this rectangle, this ellipse, check the solid, and you can leave this one there, or if you want, and make this size a little bit small. Now you can move the center X value like this. Yes, something around here. It should be very small. Now what you need to do next is just get the output of this one and connect it here. Get the output of this one, connect it here, and again you need it 4 times. Good. Something around here. I always like when my notes are a little bit in order. I'm going to bring this one up here. Now all you need to do is go to the second merge, using the angle, just rotate it like this, and you can place this one here. Go to the next one, using the angle again, you can rotate it like, I think this one is okay. Now do the same thing here, something like this. Now we're going to get a text, go to effect, going to get a text node from here. Let's use word by word. I think I need to connect this one on its own, so I'm going to connect it here. Make sure I look at it from here, and in this text I'm just going to write something like, the font is okay. I'm just going to change it to regular. Good. Now if we take a look at this, it starts from below. We don't need any position animation like position, so come here, double click here, remove all the position animation, go back to this one and reduce the size to fit within that box. Somewhere around here is okay for me. Now I'm going to go back to this modifier, and I think it's okay. You can play with that if you want, or let me just do 1.4. Good. Now go to this text, come here, right click here, and character level styling. You are going to open this one up, and I want to select only the form. If I select the form, I can then change the color to this one. So we have that. That's all for that one. Edit the form. I'm going to use capital letters. You can use small letters if you want. So let's go down to the animation. Just going to select all of these nodes, move them up to somewhere around here. Now get a merge node and connect the merge node here, and I can connect this one here. Good. That's all about our animation. No, I'm kidding. Now go to frame 0. We're going to have to add a transform node to this one here. Keyframe the size, come to somewhere around frame, let's just say frame 32, and I'm going to keyframe this one here, and let me bring this one backwards. Yes, then increase the size. We should be looking at this. Increase the size to something like this. I think that is okay. At the same time, we should open this one up and add a transform node here. Yes, go back to frame 0, keyframe the angle and come to something here, the same frame 32, and this just rotate it so that, yes, so that they're on a straight line like this. Yeah, and with that, let's go to spline control and select this one. All of these, go to spline and you can ease out cubic. Good. Now if you look at it, you see that when it gets to frame 29, the size becomes bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up, add another transform node at frame 29. I keyframe it here and keyframe the center X and Y. Yes, go one frame forward, maybe two, and keyframe it again, or maybe not. You just need to take the size up and you realize that we needed to reduce the text here, something around here. I think 3.5 is going to work, or maybe not. 3, let's say 3.3. Yes, and then we need to bring up the size again, bring up the size to a very big number till only here. Yes, now take it to the side. Yeah, we need to bring up the size again, maybe like the size of 3. Now you see that when we scale it, this one becomes too much. So what do? We are going to come back to this ellipse and reduce it to maybe 1.5. Yes, this is what we want. And that, so these are my transform values. Now go to this one and S. I don't know if S is going to work, but you just need to do any one that works for you. Now at this point you realize that this one is, we have to add another transform node. So here I'm going to add another transform node and I'm going to keyframe the center X and Y. Go maybe to the end of this scene. I don't know, I have to increase this one. Go back, yes, to the end of this scene and make sure I move it just a little bit so that, yes, something like this. It keeps moving. I'm going to go to spline S. We have that now. So going back to here, I'm going to add a transform node here. Good. With this transform, we're going to use it to rotate the text. So let's come to somewhere around here. You have to add a text here. So let me open this up from here, and then I'm going to get a background node. I'm going to build the text here. You can use any text animation you want. I'm going to go to my new edit pack. I'm going to use this one. So let's see how the animation goes. Yes, something like this. Yeah, that's the text animation we want. So I'm just going to change this one to, here should be project. Use the same font. Okay, our animation starts at frame 31. So open up this one and move this to frame 31. Yes, let's just try to work with the delay a little bit better. Good. So that is it. Now we have to find a way to connect this one here. So if I connect this one here and then make sure that I take a look at it from here, you see it appears like that. So I need to find a way. I can go to my layout and I'm just going to take this up like this. This is how it appears. So let me just bring this down. It appears like this. I'm going to add a transform node here, and with this transform node I can rotate it like this. Here it's going to be a hustle trying to get this one in place. Let's just get this one. Now what I want to do is I want to get the text to the middle of this thing. Just bring the pivot point to the middle of the text like here, and then we can come back to viewing this one. If we get one, then we can get the rest. Yes, so when you have the pivot point at the center, you just need to move this up and it's going to work. Now come to the text and bring the size down. You can use a size of like 0.4. So this is what we have. Now from here, come to this transform node. You see that the text, it starts moving at frame 50. So at frame 50, you're going to keyframe the rotation X and go to where it stops, where this one comes into place at about frame 80. Now go to frame 80 and rotate this one like this and bring it to the center. Now copy these two nodes, Control C, Control V, and paste them. Connect. Now you can change this one to feedback and you can connect this one here. it's going to appear in this same position. So just make sure you take, let's make sure how we do it. Let's just make sure. Now it appears like this. We're just going to make sure that these are the transform values. Now I can just reduce the text further and bring it to the side. I think here is okay. Now the animation for this text has to start at frame 72. So select the text, take the keyframes of the text animation to frame 72. Good. It starts moving again from frame 95. So come back to this one, keyframe this one at frame 95, and go to where the next point reaches the center, which is about frame 130. You're going to bring the next point into like this. Yes, it should be here. Same thing. I'm just going to get this text, control C, control V. So I'm just going to quickly do all of this and I will see you at the end. So let me get this one, add a transform node here. Yes, so that's the final one. So this is what we have. If you go back like this, yes, come to this transform and go to spline, ease out cubic. Yes, you're going to ease out cubic so that if you play it now, yes, no, this one we haven't moved the keyframe. So let's, yeah, it starts about frame 123. So go to the last one, which is this one. Open up the keyframes tab. You're going to move all of these to frame this one, and you can now come to somewhere around here. Yeah, you don't need to, just need to layer the next frame. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have gotten value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.